Grant Connell chalked up a historic legal victory for traditional ganja farmers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Friday, 26 November, following a trial at the Serious Offences Court. Armed with excerpts from Bob Marley's redemption songs, as well as the 2020 gazetted Cannabis Cultivation, Transportation and Storage Notice SR&O number 8, and backed by testimonies of Defendant Kevin Janks Cyrus and the sole witness for the defense, Junior Spirit Cuttle, the defense attorney led a spirited submission that ultimately prayed for Chief Magistrate Rashawn Brown to reject Prosecutor Renrick Cato's case. The Chief Magistrate agreed that there were some things which kind of throw some doubt and issues in the works. It was therefore unsafe, she concluded, to convict on such issues and found the defendant not guilty.
I handle for marijuana. I'm talking for marijuana and beat them in the court. 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 Yo, this is it. Victory. They can't stop Rastafari. There is not to stop Rastafari. This is how we just live. You understand? Support the truth. You understand? And this is the truth. Beat them. Stand up in the court and defend marijuana and beat them. You understand? Because we ain't no dumb enough. We how we just think ahead, future. We're thinking for the future. Be the system. The whole system. The whole system. And what's now? I'm telling them I smoke marijuana since I was 6 years old. If you ever see them in the court, I tell them everything for marijuana.
When I was arrested, I have to give Mr. Connell a big up. Rastafari, big up. Rastafari, live big up, you know. Because when he come to the station to bail me, this is the words that came out his mouth. Janks, this is the case that will break the camel back. And if the camel back ain't break now, well, that camel is real strong.
I mean, they say you had over 7,000 grams of cannabis, and you've never once hidden the fact that, yes, this is your cannabis that you were in possession of.
No, I never hide it. I never say, well, I didn't, I not my weed or what. I defend my marijuana because I've been smoking marijuana since I was 6 years old. So when come to defend marijuana, I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm going to defend it. And Mr. Connell was a professional.
Yo! It's so we do it warm and easy. You understand? Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must, man. If my black is up here, they hold me in marijuana. So I'm having full joy myself up here. Full joy.
How much pounds?
I was 17 pounds of weed. And I own the weed. I own the marijuana. And still win the case. Own the marijuana.
How important is that verdict today to your mind?
Historically, it's very significant. It is a victory for the traditional cultivators. It is a victory for cannabis in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. First time in the history of this country, police have gone to the home of a traditional cultivator, seized 16 or so pounds of cannabis, and the matter went to the court, and because of the law of amnesty, the traditional cultivator has won his case. First time, it's historic. It's first time it ever happened. First time not just in the Caribbean, first time, and perhaps in the world, because the amnesty law, I am almost certain that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the only country in the world that can boast of an amnesty law. Jamaica doesn't have it. Colombia doesn't have it. I don't know if no other country has it. And there are many, and there are growers in other parts of the world who are very well encouraged by that law and are asking their respective governments to pass such a law.
Victory! Victory! Marijuana victory! So we do it. Our liberty. You understand? Our liberty. You understand? When you're thinking ahead, when you're thinking for the future, you do them things. Then you think you do. You understand? Very, very, very proud. I'm proud of my lawyer today. My lawyer stand up like a hero today. My lawyer stand up, Grant Connell, my lawyer. The man stand up like a hero. Man stand up like a hero and win my case. And now the police and them can't say nothing. And the prosecutor like a little. You understand? The prosecutor like a little. You understand? Trying to test Rastafari. And Rastafari, they say 19 no long.
It's not about me, it's not about Grant Connell, never is. You know, this whole cannabis thing in St. Vincent, I always say it's different for us as a people, you know. Cannabis has played a crucial role in the development of people. You go down Leeward years ago, you can see how it used to thrive and the contributions it's made. You know, I said in court it'll put shoes on people's feet, shirt on their back, food in their belly, contribute to education. So we can't be a hypocrite, you know. And the present legislation, I think the powers that be have made it clear that they're trying to make a new avenue for those in the hills. I don't think it will ever eradicate those who survived that way for many years, but it has helped tremendously. And Janks here is a perfect example, you know. But it'll take a lot more work to emancipate yourself from mental slavery. You know, as Janks said, you have to judge so long and run so far, and you know the system against you. And if even now you have the certificate, the system still want to get you. It's just an indication, but we get in there slowly, and I think we have second in the Caribbean. I think Jamaica was first, but we are out front, and I see our friends to the east, Barbados. They're now getting into it. I had a quick view of their rates. I think they're much higher than ours. So soon.
Rates for sale of
No, for the medical marijuana
as in
cultivation. No, the acre rate.
Okay.
To get the appropriate certificate, etc. It's very expensive. So soon there may be a replacement for cane to cannabis. But it's all good. I think the entire Caribbean and all the leaders should take a second look at their approach to cannabis.
What do you think this verdict would do for our industry here? I mean, I know, as you pointed out, it's young yet, the industry that is.
Yeah.
But what do you think this verdict would mean going forward?
Many years ago, as you know, I had applied to have a cannabis plant at the Grassroots Tennis Club car park. The whole idea behind that was to somewhat take away the stigma and this whole effect it has on the people. You know, most of the time you see a cannabis trees on the back of a police truck and guns and being raided, as if it's some kind of beast. You know, so I think this case doesn't really mean that everybody who is caught with cannabis would be freed, but it would highlight the point that the medical marijuana, the amnesty, how it changes hands, and the call for more education in this area to make sure that they're going, go against the procedure that is set out in the legislation. I know the Sufre kind of put a little delay in the whole system, but hopefully it gets back up and running, and those who have the certificates like Janks can start to make some good money from it legally. You really can't blame the police, you see. It's said that the police station is like the accident and emergency of justice. When you get it wrong there, the whole system can go wrong, and to correct the legal injury after that will be kind of difficult. So you can't blame them. They will educate themselves and then we move from there.
Rasta man.
Yes, man. Enough thanks to my lawyer there, man. That man is a professional. And he did it for not just for me, but for all cannabis traditional farmers have their rights. And so long as you stand up for your rights, you will get your justice. Because we're not in no hole hiding from nobody no more. We're out in the public. And here is where I am, in the public, thanking Mr. Connell for such a professional performance in front of the magistrate. He was exceptional. He was exceptional. And I'm feel good today. Because I could go home now and cook my ital and burn a good spliff. Because justice has been done.
What does this mean? Maybe it's early yet, but like especially the coins that were taken from you, is that a separate case or
yeah, well,
this
it's supposed
verdict today, do you think impact on
well, this case today is supposed to have a rich impact on that finance, because that's hard work finance, So this case is supposed to make sure, well, I get back all them stuff there, because they have no case. They lost.
Are you going to be representing him in the FIU case as it relates to the bucket of coins that was seized on that same match morning?
Well, as I said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Once those at the financial intelligence unit look at themselves and look at the law, I think they'll do the right thing. Do the thing right and do the right thing. Just write the man a check and send back his money, his coins. It's in the bank, so we get a little interest on it, and we move forward. It's good money. Good money. Ganja money is always good money. It all depends whose hands it's in. But we get in there. We're freeing ourselves, We're moving forward as a people. Don't worry.
If you were to make that whole move again in terms of moving your marijuana from your farm to your home, that whole exercise, would you do it the same? Would you do anything differently based on the experience?
I would be more professional.
In what way?
In securing and going to the Cannabis Authority for advice, more advice, because it's an ongoing process. It's never done. You always have to evolve with the times, and this time is my involvement.
What? The first certificate ever issued on Ireland is this certificate. The first certificate. First certificate ever issued on Ireland is this certificate. And they're trying to ridicule I and put I like it to shame. They can't make I shame for far right. I stand up with far right. My liberty is Rastafari. And my rights is Rastafari. You understand? And I represent Rastafari in the court. And Rastafari stand up high in the court. Jed, you know how proud I feel today? To see them boy walk out with my marijuana out of my house and I could win them in court. Man, I feel so proud, my brother. And this is the black hall, everything started, you know. Up here is where all the marijuana started. Everything about marijuana is up here. Uptown, all around marijuana. I defend marijuana. Victory with marijuana. Certificate with marijuana. Man, I proud. Honorable. Rastafari. Honorable. Liberty. Highly high to our Rastafari people all past the world. This victory is for all you who've been smoking marijuana for all over 50-something years. This victory is for all I and I. Because them have a see I and I and left I and I. Because I and I seek the truth. And I stand for the rights. And I stand for the liberty of the Rastafari. And a part of the Rastafari movement is the marijuana. And a part of the marijuana is a certification in the system. And the system bring this and I win with this. You understand? So all traditional farmers, all people who know, looking for the legal justice, look for your certificate, look for your traditional farmers connection. Go to the medical cannabis authority and tell them you want to be registered as a certified medical marijuana. Man, I plant marijuana all over St. Vincent. I plant marijuana in Larrikai. I plant marijuana in Lomans.
Obviously, or maybe not, but are you still gonna be farming?
Man, I always a farmer. I just love farming. I always a farmer. A farming me dwell with, right you. Me cook a Italian farm. Cause the system never give me no work. So me cook a Italian farm, marijuana. And my liberty today is like, whoa. I'm like in the clouds, man.
Let me go light up something.
We're going to light up marijuana. Because we win marijuana things, we got to light up marijuana. That's how we stay. Yes, my brother.
Janks himself, I know he has been registered a long time. He informed me about the cannabis he had. I started to take measures to ensure that the cannabis is collected. And before it was collected, the police went and searched his place and took the cannabis. And that was...
You're telling me the quantity of cannabis that was seized was not even the full harvest?
No. It was just about, I think it was about 16 pounds of cannabis that was seized. But the police was totally wrong to know that a man has been registered with the Medical Cannabis Authority. The man is a traditional cultivator. Now it's amnesty. And so I think it was a case, Janks, he had to win the case. He had to win the case.
You played a part in the trial. What? If you can just give us a little understanding of the kind of questions that came at you, you know.
For example, I was asked by the prosecutor if a cannabis grower grows his cannabis, if he's supposed to transport it from his field to his residence. The law may perhaps is not very clear on that, but according to the law itself, a traditional cultivator under the amnesty is legally allowed to grow his cannabis and to sell it to a licensed purchaser. So having it stored at his residence is within the framework of the law pertaining to amnesty. And he I think he also asked me about if the traditional cultivator can move it by himself from the field to his residence. No, he's not supposed to move it. But he's supposed to inform the authority, and that is what Janks had done. He informed me about the cannabis he had stored. But the authority the industry hasn't reached that point where the authority was in place to send somebody to take the cannabis and carry it because there wasn't yet a licensed purchaser.
One of the key issues that the prosecutor Cato kept coming back to was whether or not police had to be informed in the actual moving of the traditional cultivators' harvest.
Yes, the police has to be informed, but it is not the traditional cultivator who has to inform the police. It's the Medical Cannabis Authority. The traditional cultivator has to inform the MCA that he has certain quantity of cannabis and he would like to have it sold under the amnesty or within the framework of the amnesty. So I, as the liaison officer, got that information that the cannabis was stored, and I simply informed the guy to yes, store the cannabis properly until the matter is reported to the authority and the necessary steps are taken to have it moved from your residence to a licensed purchaser. But interestingly, there weren't yet a licensed purchaser. One of the reasons why you don't have a licensed purchaser, we have to partly blame that on COVID. Because there are investors who have expressed interest in purchasing amnesty produce, but not long after that interest has been expressed, COVID came on us. So that process has been stalled in a way.
This is a significant victory for Rastafari all over, because you know what it is when the system fighting against you for the herb. But little do they know, I started to smoke herb when I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, I started to smoke marijuana, and I always making up my mind to defend it. And so said, so done. I had was to defend it. And big salute to Mr. Grant Connell, because he break the camel back. You hear? Big respect to you, sir.
How does it feel though, to have played, you know, that pivotal role in this precedent-setting case? Because have no doubt about it, future incidences that mirror yours would have to report to this in our local courts.
It's a significant victory in a latter sense, you know, because Rastafari been going through all kind of persecution, you know, for this same herb, you know, and when you can, you know, go seek your rights in front of a systematically magistrate, you know, and get your victory, you know. It's a mighty full feeling, and our Rastafari all over the world supposed to be proud about this victory here. This victory ain't my victory alone.
For the almost 17 pounds of cannabis that they removed from your tabernacle, yes sir, how much would you have been liable to be charged if the trial had gone the other way?
Boy, well, Jed, now I gotta tell you, if them man they been really bring me guilty and they'd arrest the axe from me because me give them trouble, it come like me fighting them with all angles, so me know me have to pay at least $10,000.
What do you mean you give them trouble?
Well, me present a certificate and me stand up for the rights of the Rastaman in the court, and above that me win. So you know, if me will lose, if I man lose, I man would have been like, wow, who you tell yourself use this and use that, boy feel the weight. So they would arrest the weight on me because of who I am, you know. But let me tell you something, you know, it always has plenty force. I'm one of the first man who light up a big spliff on the television, you know. all in the 70s, and me was the Rasta man when the news come on. You see when the news come on the TV? And me was the Rasta man who used to light up the big spliff. I see all like 79 again. When the emperor grandson come here, so and them the over the complex over there, and my big spliff, you know, will light up the whole scene. So it's always the first, and a lot of the first start with I man, because I man born on the first. You understand? I man born on the 1st of August. You understand? I man is a emancipator. You understand? So it always have a first, and the first always start with I. You understand? And let me tell you, I'm an only son. I man have to stand up for myself because I'm an only son. I have no brother. So when me do so, I check on a man, I check on him as my brother. So if my brother fail me, well, him gone, you know, because him feel like. I'm an only son, you know. And I have to stand up for a lot of things as an only son, you know. You understand?
That 10 grand that you had expected to have been fined if you had lost, would you have been able to pay it?
But, well, as I tell you already, I'm an only son and my sisters and them love me, no blood clot. Me know say they would have helped me. Me know that. So, me know my sisters and them would have been in my corner. So that fine they would have paid. The money they would have come up from my sisters and them. And my nephew. All my people and them love I, you know. All my people close to I love I, you know. It have a woman named is Ruby Seeley. Me couldn't even go and meet she because this case was pending over my head. You see now I win this case, I could go and hug her up and show her real love and show her, yo, and me there.
You mean to tell me since we spoke, you still ain't go
No,
Ruby?
no, me can't go meet Ruby because Ruby is so personal that me have to go by Ruby with a win. Me have to be a winner to go by Ruby. Ruby Seeley me I talk about, you know. And my second mother that, you know, that the woman, you know, a special person to me. She like an angel. But now me could go and me go joyful, full joy in my heart and go look for Ruby. You understand? Because I'm a winner. You understand? I'm a winner. So Ruby only could greet me as a winner.
The far right, them, the farmers, them, who still in the struggle. For them especially.
Yeah.
You're sitting here today, tomorrow, and you hear the report come over the radio or even on the JP Shimon situation update. Such and such being fined $10,000 because them get caught with 17 pounds of weed in their house and them a traditional farmer from way back when. What would you say to that person then, knowing your experience now?
Well, I would tell all traditional farmer to try to get to be legal. It have a medical cannabis authority here so in St. Vincent, and it's not for the big boys alone. It's not for them people who come from South Africa, who come from South America, who come from North America. It's for the people and them in St. Vincent too. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because I now leave out my Grenadines people, you know, because all in my days, you know, me go back and me bring up herb from back with you know, so herb all over St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah, me tell all traditional farmers, all Rastafari people, don't fear Babylon. You know, stand up and face in Babylon. Babylon say you have to be certified, you have to get legal, go through the process and do it. Because I man do it, and if I didn't do it, I would have been paying $10,000 today. So that is a sense of telling you, boy, don't bother with people and tell you, well, it ain't have something good out of it. It have something good. So long as you do it in a legal way. You know, you go to these people and you get yourself certified, you get yourself into the traditional way. And it always have a way for you, you know. And if the police and them try to harass you and put you under pressure, the court, Allah, always did it, you know. And your laws, the medical cannabis laws, and all the laws, to change that, you know, the legality about marijuana in St. Vincent, did they in the court there, you know? The court have them, even the court don't have them. We have people who could present them to the court and be accepted in the court. So try and wise up and don't fall on nobody and say, boy, Babylon want to squeeze and Babylon want to do this. It's down to the eye. Have to, be brave about himself. Because if me smoke marijuana since me 6 years old and it have a way now how to become legal, must take them. You have to take them. So
you've tested the legality of the amnesty regulations.
Yes.
You come out a champion.
Yes.
What's the next thing? What's the next goal? What's the next benchmark that you think we need to sort out in order for us to strengthen this new and legal ganja industry?
Well, one the main thing, we can't stop grow marijuana. We have to continue grow plenty marijuana and grow the best marijuana. And we mustn't be hiding and have to bury marijuana and all them kind. We supposed to have marijuana in we house, in we tabernacle.
Or even have
specialized storage spaces for the marijuana. So that is one the first thing.
When I asked that question, what's to my mind, like Connell mentioned in court today, one of the legal buyers here in St. Vincent offering something like $50.
Waste of time, money that man.
So this is what I'm wondering. What to your mind do you think we need to now address? Because the fact that police just can't just roll up on you and take your weed as a traditional farmer, no matter the quantity,
right?
Providing that you have the requisite
legal framework
under the
amnesty.
That has been underscored today.
And yeah, that come to the forefront.
What next?
Well, I think as traditional farmer, we're supposed to farm ourselves into certain cooperative and and the sky is the limit, because marijuana is a billion-dollar business, not little business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. And in order to be in this society with the marijuana, you have to organize yourself. And in order to do that, couple Rasta and things supposed to cooperate themselves and put themselves into a strong body so that they could facing all the obstacles when it comes,
and to addressing the price of the
well, averagely, me know when marijuana used to be like $1,500 and $1,200 and $1,000 and things. Me know them price there, and a man used to get charged for a little roach $2,000, $1,500, and
wait. When you say no them price, you mean that's why you used to get charged in court, or that's why
yeah.
Used to be sold for per pound?
No, that the court used to charge man like $1,500 for a roach, a little needle thing, a little piece smaller than this, a little thing like that. The court used to charge you like $1,500 and thing for them thing there. And now it break down. You understand? It break down. But the price range what some of them people from all over the world will start to pay the $50 okay hour. Me averagely, me could see at a $300 a man could see way on a $300. $300 any money. If you are if American come for buy it and you want to pay $300 US, you pay $300 US. If a Bajan want to come and pay $300 Bajan, come pay $300 any money. This is why you have to unify yourself and organize yourself so that you could, when you say your price, your price is for everybody. But if one man wants to sell for 200 and one wants to sell for 50 and one wants to sell for this, it will complicate the matter. So that's why you have to organize and centralize and replenish the whole business. The medical cannabis business is ours own, It's we started. You understand that, because it come now and it have a certain authority with it.
How do you feel about your role in attaining that particular verdict?
I enjoy my role. I always enjoy my role. And I felt happy to be able to go into the court and put the whole thing in perspective, that it has enabled the traditional grower to win his case. And I thought, not just as a liaison officer of the MCA, but as the president of the Cannabis Revival Committee, which with that decision, they should be more confident in that, not just in the industry, but also in the work being done by the Cannabis Revival Committee.
Big up Junior Cattle, better known as Spirit, because him are the only man coming out of the court for stand up and defend me, you know. You understand? Him come. And that is a great honor. You know, so sometimes when people say Spirit this and Spirit that, no. So long saying your rights, and you make your road, you pave your road, and you chat on the road, and you go for your justice. And so long as you seek it out in the right way, boy, you have to say thanks to Spirit. You know, as a, well, me just say coordinator, me like the word coordinator, so we don't just say coordinator, but it have another word. You understand?
Yeah, man, the liaison officer.
Liaison officer, that's Junior Cattle. You know, him and the liaison officer, but me just say the coordinator. Because he coordinate my whole scene, he come and tell me what me have to do. You understand? Me have to secure me scene, me secure me scene. You know, me listen to him. And if you listen to the people in authority and certain level, like this level here, you will go good. Nobody if say they want to do this and they want to do that, and people do me favor. Nobody not do me no favor today. No. Me not go to no politician, me not beg no friend for say, well, help me out with this marijuana case here. No. Me go to the court.
Now it's amnesty. And the police have to understand that the law related to amnesty. The cannabis was found in Janks' residence, and according to the amnesty, is that once the traditional cultivator had reaped or harvested his cannabis, the cannabis can be stored at his residence, and that is the law itself. And while it's stored there, he notified the authority that he has so much and so much of cannabis.
Which authority?
The MC, the Medical Cannabis Authority. And I work with the Medical Cannabis Authority.
Yeah, well.
I'm the liaison officer at the Medical Cannabis Authority. What does that entail? Principally, facilitating the transition of persons who grow cannabis illegally from an illicit status to a legal framework.
What is clear today more than at any other time is that the amnesty regulation were basically given teeth in our local court.
Yes, yes. Right? It was given teeth indeed.
Now that we've crossed that hurdle, so
historic teeth.
A traditional cultivator now knows that once he follows the requisite steps, he informs the liaison officer, the liaison officer informs, etc., etc., etc. He's within his rights to store his product. So we've crossed that hurdle.
Yeah.
What as you see it from your interactions, your experience over the years?
Before you reach there, he informs the liaison officer, which myself, or maybe somebody else from the MCA. Could you inform the inspector? You can tell the MCA people directly, right?
Right. So, from your experience over the years, what do you think is the next hurdle that must be overcome or properly managed?
Relative to the amnesty. Relative to
relative to strengthening the ganja industry.
Right. But I'll tell you something. Relative to the amnesty, there are some other issues that are of concern which traditional growers are raising. And that is, like recently, I think the drug squad went at the home of a gentleman, I think it was Jaka in Lomans, and they confiscated somewhere like a quantity of cannabis. They didn't arrest, they didn't charge the gentleman for the cannabis, but they kept it. That is wrong. That is wrong. That, in my opinion, that goes contrary to the law of the amnesty. You asked me just now about, repeat your question, because you asked me about some challenges or some hurdles.
So, yes, so, and basically you're leading into it in terms of speaking of what you just mentioned, but what I'm curious about is what would be the next priority item on the agenda of challenges, hurdles that ought to be tackled so that we could strengthen not just this amnesty period, but the wider, well, as it is now, medicinal marijuana industry.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. Our next challenge we have before us is that I think it was in 2019, somewhere about there, the amnesty law was triggered. I think it was in March. It went up to March from 2019 to 2020. So right now, officially, the amnesty is not in effect, if I can use that word. But the amnesty never took place.
What do you mean?
In that amnesty was declared, but immediately following the declaration of the amnesty, COVID came in. So a lot of some persons who had expressed interest to purchase amnesty crop has not really returned, or because of the laws. Not because of the laws, because of the challenges faced by the COVID situation. There are challenges like, for example, you even have to, if you purchase amnesty cannabis, you have to export it. But you know the problem with airplane traveling from one port to the other. You know, COVID has impacted on that. So you can't get the movement of cannabis as you need to, and things like that. So that is the next challenge that is facing us. And also, there's the need to reactivate the amnesty. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that.
I think you made that.
In other words, the amnesty has been declared since the declaration of the amnesty. It was declared for, I think, for a year. The year has passed. Nothing has happened except that cannabis traditional cultivators continue to grow their crops. Truly, right now, we can say there is no eradication. There has not been should I say, redeclaration of the amnesty period, and it was promised. It has been promised to redeclare the amnesty itself, retrigger the amnesty. In the absence of that redeclaration, there is a policy of tolerance, and I think is guided by that policy of tolerance why there's no eradication taking place right now in the country. If traditional cultivators can start to experience licensed purchasers coming to purchase their cannabis, it's going to bring some well-needed monies in their hand. And that certainly is gonna build more confidence in the industry. That certainly is going to cause more traditional cultivators who, some of them who haven't had the confidence to become part of the industry, because they will actually be feeling material benefit, seeing practical benefit, getting money so they can take care of their families, which was never evident in this country before. Use the opportunity now. If you believe all the while that the industry is joke and it's not catering for you, it's a good opportunity to get registered. You can either check me or you check somebody who works with the Medical Cannabis Authority, or go directly to the Medical Cannabis Authority and register, because you will be on the right legal path. And that is the idea. My job is to have you, to facilitate your transition from the illicit to the licit. The illicit way of production, while it brings money, while it brings something to enable you to feed your families, it's not a reliable path. Get involved, register, become a legalized cannabis grower. Take all the advantage in order to have a sustainable way and be able to take care of your family.